2024 is shaping up to be a big year for the rapper referred to as the godfather of Canadian hip-hop.
It's a blood sport. Blood builds up back. I make your vision go blurry while your brain goes blank into oblivion. Beats from box to box, the bass rocks from blocks and blocks. Let your backbone slide.
Oh yeah, remember that one? Let Your Backbone Slide, the debut single from Maestro Fresh Wes. It was released 39 years ago, and it made him the first Canadian rapper to have a single go gold. Now, he's set to be the first rapper to be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. And in June, he'll receive the Governor-General's Performing Arts Award. My spotlight guest tonight is a pioneer in the world of Canadian hip-hop. Rapper Maestro Fresh Wes joins me now from St. John, New Brunswick. Listen, you started in this business a long time ago, my friend, and you're still looking as fresh as always. But when did you get the spark for music?
When I was 11 years old, man. I heard Rapper's Delight. I heard a song called Super Rhymes by Jimmy Spicer. And all of a sudden, I thought I had superpowers, man, And from that, I took it to the next level. I wasn't that good at first, and I continued working on it, continued striving. And, like I said, like Drake said, we started from the bottom, but now we're here doing some international things, You
say you weren't that good when you first started. What do you mean by that? And how did you get better?
Just by practice, constant elevation, cause expansion. Just getting better, just working at it, sharpening my craft. Getting better with time and getting better with the poetry, getting better with the words, getting better with the concepts. And from that, I had a name. My name was Melody MC back in 1982 to about 1988. People started calling me old because they knew of me in Toronto from 82, them times. So, I had to do something called reinvention. And I changed my name to the Maestro Fresh Wes and everything else.
Where did Maestro come from? Where did the name come from? Or is that just a creation one day?
Nah, I saw a tuxedo royale, a black tuxedo sitting there, man. And I'm like, yo, I'm the Maestro Fresh Wes.
Nice. What was it like to be part of that world at that time?
We knew we were onto something big. We knew we were coming up. We knew New York City was our big brother. And we already knew we were dope, but it was good to get the cosign from the big brother. You know what I'm saying? So the more things we did, the more shows that we did, opening up for acts, that was a beautiful thing. And then we just took it to the next level.
In Canadian culture at that time, was there a hip-hop scene? And how did you really push that forward and start to widen that out and create more of a scene?
We already had a scene. We had a beautiful scene. And, you had, like I said, the sound crews. But then the next level was just getting heard on radio. And then after that, it was just who's going to make records. It wasn't just about rapping on CKLN anymore. It was about opening up for acts in New York who were visiting Toronto. Yeah. It was going to come out with records. But we knew whoever came up with the hit was going to stick, would be the staple and the maple. So then I performed on Electric Circus for the second time. And I got to say a special shout out to Stevie B, the legendary dance artist, because he happened to be performing the same time I was. And Mike Williams made the connection. And then the rest is history. Stevie B put us onto the label he was with, LMR Records. And I performed Let Your Backbone Slide for the first time, which became the first single from a Canadian hip-hop artist to ever go gold.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that. 1989, Let Your Backbone Slide dropped. It is one of the most iconic Canadian hip-hop songs ever. Tell me about that song. Tell me about the creation of it and how it really skyrocketed your career from that point.
Yeah, man, we knew it. I mean, we made people party, man, A sample of that came from a Strafe song called Take Control, which was big back in the days, So that's the part of that sample. And then the on the left, on the right, set it off. And the beat, it was a beautiful thing. And that was it. We were about to sign to a label called Eureka Records, which was BMG based. But then after the situation with Electric Circus, we knew we'd have a bigger opportunity. And then we turned the situation where it was just supposed to be a single deal into an album deal. And then lo and behold, you got the album, Symphony in Effect. And my father, he shot the album cover as well as the single for Let Your Backbone Slide as well.
Did you know at the time that would kind of become an anthem for a generation?
Absolutely. But I didn't think it would last so long. Yeah. Because we didn't know. People kept on forcing in their heads that hip-hop was a fad, So, yeah.
Huh. And what was that like when people would say, you know, it's just a passing fad, we're going to move past it? How did you fight back against that?
I mean, just longevity, man. Just longevity and knowing that. And it wasn't just me, the longevity. You look at our brothers and sisters in New York, LA, you know, Virginia, Chicago, Texas, Florida. Hip hop was expanding. It wasn't just the tri-state area and little pockets around around North America. It was all across America, and Toronto was doing it. And then later on, we have artists from the West Coast doing it as well, like Vancouver with the Ragamuffin Rascals. You see what I'm saying? That's what I know them as. You see what I'm saying? And the reception was we were well received back in the days from you know, our artists in, you know, in New York, what have you. So it was a blessing. And, you know, Trev, just to see, you know, I got a slogan, don't make records, make history. And to see that, you know, Let Your Backbone Slide was the first single from a Canadian hip hop artist to ever go gold. That's a beautiful thing. That symbolizes longevity, because this is 2024, where I'll be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, March 24th, 2024. And then in June, I'll be getting the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Governor General of Arts. So 2024 is a good year for me, but it just shows that what perseverance and longevity, as well as Canadian heritage, is all about.
You know, in those early days, though, a lot of hip hop talked about political issues, social issues, and you really kind of joined that tradition with your second studio album, Black Tie Affair. What change were you hoping to make with that album?
That's a great question, because the reason it's called Black Tie Affair is because black symbolized black people, tie was unity amongst us all. So I put so many different artists on my album from the city, you know, from K-Force, who was like one of the top MCs out of Toronto. I strategically put him on the B-side of my first single, Conducting Things. We had a song called VIPs Only. It was just bringing the whole community together, because it wasn't just about me. It was about us all together thriving and taking it to the next level. Because at that time, I was already a platinum artist. But I knew for an industry to really develop, it couldn't be just me. So that's why I had so many different artists on the second album.
Why do you think, Wes, it's hard for artists to break, Canadian artists, a lot of them, to break through in the United States?
I kind of think it's your team who you're with, you know? You know, I think it's your team who's representing you as well. It's not, you know, so that's one thing I'll definitely say. And, you know, for me personally, I don't cry over spilled milk. You know, I wrote my first rhyme in 1979. I told you guys by like 1987, I was considered old already. So the fact that by 1993, 94, I was like looking for a pension plan from the mainstream. I mean, from that perspective, even though I was just in my 20s. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's your representation and whatnot, you know?
You have been a host.
At the same time, I was just going to interject. At the same time, maybe it's me too, because styles change from the fast boom bap records to like slower, more jazz records to more like West Coast, what they're doing with the funk, what have you, you know?
I mean, when you look back at that time and, you know, what was going on in the States there, do you wish you had pushed more, or are you glad that, you know, you were just kind of like, okay, we're done there, we're going to stick in Canada now?
No, I wouldn't push more. There's no way you could push more.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. You let the cards fall as they may once you work and do what you can. You got to remember, this is the era before the internet, right? So you're pressing buttons and your music is in your lap. You got to do the groundwork, and the groundwork I did was heroic, if I may say so myself. And yeah, you let the cards fall as they may. So when issues happen with the label, it is what it is. I'm born in Toronto, raised in Toronto. You see what I'm saying? And it wasn't really that much of a issue to get a second deal with Attic. And then I came with the sample from These Eyes. I got the sample cleared. It wasn't cheap, and we turned that into something that, like I said, we don't make records, we make history. And who would think that song would transcend and really summarize a 10-year career for me from 1989 to 1999? You know what I'm saying? And I got music from, if you think about it, Travis, from 5 different decades, because You got music, backbone of that album was in the 80s with Drop the Needle, what have you. Then the 90s was like, you know, Stick to Your Vision. 2000s, I got music, but I did a lot of film and TV in the 2000s. 2010s, I got about 4 albums within that decade. Now you got 2020s where I got my joint still winning, and I'm excited to still be here. But what I want to say too, that I got my scholarship called the Maestro Fresh Wes Scholarship for Black youth interested in learning skilled trades. Because to me, we don't have a shortage of MCs, but we definitely got a shortage of Black youth interested in learning how to use their hands, learning how to build, you know, and these Black hands build pyramids. So what I want to reinforce to these kids is you have options, right? And in 2017, I received an honorary diploma from the Nova Scotia Community College Akerley campus. So in March, while I'll be getting, right before I get my Hall of Fame award, we'll be addressing and introducing the first recipient of the Maestro Fresh Wes Scholarship. So those are the things I'm more interested in going forth and forward, because the impact I made through music doesn't mean I'm going to stick within the parameters of music. We're going to expand and go forth and forward. So that's why I chose trades, because if you don't know how to use your hands and know how to build, you're dependent on people. And if you're dependent on people, you're always going to be in slave mode. So my mentality is like, how can I help the next generation learn, and how can I help them build? So this is something I'm very proud of, and I had to mention that as we celebrate Black History Month.
You have built such an incredible career, and now you are helping others build theirs. Maestro, wish we had more time, my friend. It is good to see you. Let's catch up when you're back here in your hometown of Toronto.
No doubt. Listen, I'm proud of you. Continue doing what you're doing, and thanks for your time.